President Biden is slamming Republicans, accusing them of, quote, playing politics with human beings. The remarks in response to Republican governors Ron DeSantis of Florida and Greg Abbot of Texas, sending dozens of migrants to Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts, and Vice President Kamala Harris's home here in Washington.
It's un-American, it's reckless, and we have a process in place to manage migrants at the border. We're working to make sure it's safe and orderly and humane. Republican officials should not interfere with that process by waging these political stunts.
The Republican governors say the move is part of an effort to push the Biden administration to do more to address the influx of migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border. ABC's Maria Villarreal joins us now live near the border in El Paso, Texas. Maria, good to see you. We've been following your reporting on El Paso, near a breaking point from the massive influx of migrants there. You just finished a tour at a migrant processing facility, I heard. What did you see and learn inside there?
Oh man, Kenneth, what a question to ask. Let me tell you, it's a really eye-opening experience here in El Paso to go inside and to see what they are doing here. There are a couple hundred people in there, between 200 and 300 right now that they are processing. These are families that were just released by Border Patrol. They came to this processing facility. They get their information taken. They get asked about where they want to go next, where they are coming from. They are then told, listen, you know, we have a couple of different ways for you to leave El Paso if this is not your final destination, which in most cases it is not. And then the families wait for buses to show up. There are several different buses that can take them in different places. A little bit ago, before we went inside, we saw, for example, yellow and blue buses that were city. Those are transportation that will take the families to, let's just say, the local Greyhound bus station or even the airport. The buses that you see behind me right now are actually the buses that will head to New York from El Paso.
Wow. And we know earlier the El Paso deputy city manager actually briefed the public on the migrant crisis. I want to play this clip and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
We have enough room for more charters. The charters are backlogged. It's just like everything else. COVID took a toll across the nation, and here in El Paso with working staff. They don't have enough drivers. They don't have enough equipment. Everything's on backlog. And we all knew that. We're all having to adjust to that, but it's the true fact of the matter. So that's why when we're looking at resources and what do we need from outside and what kind of assistance we're needing, that's what we need. We need to keep the transportation moving. It's that balancing point of how many can we safely house and how many can we move on. Until we reach that, we're always going to see these overflows.
Maria, why is transportation such an issue for El Paso?
You know, this comes down to a lot of different factors coming into this one. It's all culminating right here in El Paso. First, you have Governor Abbott doing his own thing with the buses. I think Arizona's still doing some of that. Now Florida is jumping in on it. So right now, we see buses, you know, in demand. They don't have enough charters here to send people out. And it's very clear that these families don't want to stay here. Obviously, they have a very small Greyhound bus station. You cannot buy a day-of ticket here at all. And the flights, obviously, on top of being expensive, they're also very small as well. So it's not like there is a lot of ways to get out of El Paso. It is landlocked here. For this city to be taking this on right now, it is definitely very daunting for them. So far, they have shipped out about 41 charters total. 39 roughly have gone to New York, 2 to Chicago as well. Right now, it is all about being able to manage this. They've spent so far $1 million trying to manage this problem, and there is a big concern it will continue to grow.
Maria, I know you've been covering that immigration issue down at the border for quite some time. I have to ask you, how does this current influx in El Paso compare to those we saw at the border under the Trump administration in 2017 and 2018?
I mean, look, I think you can probably see right behind me what's going on and what makes this so different. The families behind me, I've actually talked to several of them. I can see their young kids. These are all families that are from Venezuela. These are families that have come here with their children, and they don't have sponsors in the U.S. That means they are not subject to Title 42. Which also means that they will go to New York, to Chicago, to the East Coast, West Coast, wherever their final destination is, and they won't have a place to stay. They won't have a family member to stay with, so they are looking for shelter, and they will eventually try and find work in whatever city they end up in. I think for me, the difference that I am seeing is the busing is very new to me. This is something I haven't really covered, and I've been covering immigration for well over a decade. And so for me, that is what makes this a little bit different. But I think more than anything, we do need to highlight all the efforts that are happening here in El Paso and what the city is doing to humanely respond to this crisis.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.